Okay,
So we are now live.
Awesome.
You can now begin.
Okay, so hi guys. I'm really excited to be here today presenting at the SEO conference or SEO Conf, I believe. And so my name is Alex, and I'm a digital marketing consultant. You see those funny balloons on my background. Actually, yesterday I turned 30, and so my colleagues, they brought me those balloons. I want to talk today about how you can generate links that will bring you traffic and leads. And so let me share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Oh, something went wrong. Just give me 1 second. I'll stop sharing my screen and try it one more time. So let me try to do this, and then, okay, just 1 second. It's funny, I don't know what to do in that case. Just let's try one more time. Anyway, Carlos, do you know what should I do in that case?
Yes, just switch to your slides.
So just switch into my slides anyway. Yes. Okay, let me try. And it's okay?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you, appreciate this. So you can see my slides, right?
Oh. Yes.
Hold on. Yeah, okay. So guys, sorry for some technical issues. It happens all the time, I guess. So anyway, as I've already mentioned, my name is Alex, and I am a digital marketing consultant, and I mostly work with digital marketing companies, and I do a lot of link building. So that's the reason why I'm going to talk about link building today, but a very specific one, because actually, as a person that's really involved in link building, and as I've already mentioned, I do it quite a lot. I know how it's hard. It's like sometimes it might take around 20, 30 hours to acquire one link. If we talk about very authority websites, for sure, not like, medium or well, low quality sites. And so, well, I know how it's hard. And so let's imagine if you're going to be like, and so I'm talking about links that are not really have a very specific focus, like generating traffic. And let's imagine now you have a challenge to select from those authority sites only link that will generate you traffic. So it's like, 10x the time that you need to spend on doing that. So it's very time consuming. And that's the reason why I want to share why you need to focus on those links. And so believe me, it has a good number of reasons. So first of all, link building, as I already mentioned, it takes a lot of time. So, well, honestly, sometimes it's like you never know how it's going to, what's like, sometimes it takes like, a few hours, sometimes weeks. So you never know how it's going to happen. Well, I mean, like you can still, well, for sure, you can predict, you can estimate, you have experience, and you can say in general it's going to be X hours. But your reality check, it adds some, let's say, like some changes or corrections, what I would say. And so that's the reason why when you can generate links that bring you traffic, you're going to show short-term results without missing a main focus on long-term results. So that's the reason why bringing those links that generating traffic, you can show value from your activity, not only in a long run, but also in a short period of time. That's why they are great. So another thing that a lot of SEOs and link building, they tend to forget that from SEO perspective, links that bring traffic are the best. The reason behind that is quite simple. Nowadays, users' behavior are quite, let's say, well, I wouldn't say popular. I would say it's quite important how users interact with your website. And so when you generate links that don't bring you traffic, you are not sending any users to your website. So basically, that's a signal to Google from some way that your links, they're not so good as links that are generating traffic. And let's imagine we have in SERPs 2 websites. One has links that are bringing traffic to this website, and the other one, well, generates links that not bringing users. Well, the answer is pretty simple here. The site that has referral traffic from links will be ranking higher than the second one. So that's what I'm talking about, actually. So from SEO perspective, those links are better. And the very last reason, that's about just, general impression. It doesn't matter whether you are digital marketing consultant, freelancer, or just a PR specialist, link builder, SEO specialist, manager, growth hacker, whatever you want to describe yourself. You need to stand out. If you want more clients, if you want a high salary, better, I don't know, kind of job offers, you need to show your value. And if you're going to use this strategy, you're going to show your real value. People really rarely use this strategy. So that's the reason why you should definitely consider it. That's a good slide, which is like, that's kind of my, might be like, let's imagine like two link builders going for a date, and like in Titanic, they're like, kind of facing that situation. And the very last question that one link builder will kind of trying to figure out the other one, like, where the real traffic happens. And so it's quite funny because I receive a lot of emails about traffic, and I would say a lot of well-known experts. They're asking me about the referral traffic, where they can generate it, and we exchange ideas for sure. And so, well, I mean, it's just like kind of a lot of people tend to think that it's easy, but it's not easy at all. Especially if we talk about digital marketing landscape. Nowadays, traffic is really hard to acquire, especially from referring websites. Well, even from Google as well. And social media traffic is not coming as good as it was. So we are all struggling, more or less. And when we talk about here, another quite interesting question to you guys, actually. Do you think when we talk about referral traffic, if we want to kind of, I don't know, evaluate the kind of, when we want to evaluate different websites and kind of prioritize those that will bring you traffic with the higher and low, let's say, kind of probability, whether you're going to consider the number of monthly visitors. Is it a key metric or not? So you can just send yes or no, I'll review later. So I'm just interested from my professional perspective as well. And meanwhile, I'll share with you a quite good story, which will give you the right answer. So that's my column on Moz blog, as you can see. I contribute there quite regularly. Moz has, based on similar rate data, over 6 million monthly visitors. I would say that's like, quite a lot, which is not actually quite that, just a lot. And so that's, oops, sorry. That's my favorite. So that's my website. And for sure in those posts, I was linking to my website. And here are the number of visitors that I were able to acquire from Moz blog. Well, 86 in like starting from 2016. In it's like in 3 years, almost 3 years. Quite impressive, right? So if you are going to, well, if you ever consider it as a good metric, monthly traffic of any website, then it's a bad metric. It's not going to tell you anything. It's just, like guessing. You never know. It might work for some websites, but for the rest of us, like most, it doesn't work. And that's the reason why I'm here and want to tell you how you can find those websites that are going to bring you referral traffic. And what's even more important, I want to tell you how you can integrate those links in your SEO strategy, which is a key point here, what I think, because if you are going to skip the last step, then it's going to be kind of a puzzle, but not yet just kind of you are not integrating those pieces in the right way. What I would say, they're still going to be split, and you need to integrate them, and then you are going to see a solid result, which you can proud of, share with your friends, show your boss. I don't know, write a blog post even on Mozblog, why not? So let's start from the very beginning, and I'm going to tell you 3 steps that will guarantee your success when it comes to figuring out whether this or that website is going to generate traffic. So this is pretty easy to follow, what I say, a guide, which anyone can do. Just you need the right tools, and that's it. So first of all, you need to find sites that are currently driving traffic to your competitors, to your industry leaders, so whatever it is. What you can do here, you can use SimilarWeb. Yes, it's quite expensive one. That's very true. Their basic package, it starts from 10K USD, and so that's going to work only for one database, and you need to pay it in advance, so they're going to lock you with an annual subscription and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's kind of, let's say, like, well, more work for enterprise companies. And that's the reason why I want to share you a substitute to this. That is SEMrush. And 1 year ago, they launched their traffic analytics tool. And so they currently have a quite good data. So I use a combination actually of SimilarWeb and SEMrush, because as any marketer and also like kind of a person who is obsessed with data, I want to get as much as I could. So I combine those 2 sources. The only thing about SEMrush data that you should know, that they currently don't have mobile data. So for some niches, it might be critical. So let's imagine tourist niche, because in tourist niche, as I know, those websites, they receive sometimes around 60% of mobile traffic. So yeah, for some niches, it might be quite sensitive. But if we talk about like, more generic one, or well, more traditional one, it's going to be okay, and it doesn't cost you too much. So they are like, maybe starting from less than $200 per month, and you are not really like, you can cancel the subscription at any time. So yeah. And then after you've just, you've kind of put a list of those domains that are bringing traffic to your competitors or to industry leaders, which I would say like it's better to look. Here's one small tip from a person that has done this analysis tons of time. I would say it's better to look at smaller sites. The reason behind this is that bigger websites, they're kind of has a quite, let's say, like when you're going to analyze those sources, it's going to be much more complicated to filter out the real source of referral traffic. And if you're going to take relatively small websites, It's they let's say they have a pretty transparent template, so it's easier. Anyway, here we have a few options, I would say. Referral traffic, it might come because a website has a great audience. So this audience is actively engaging with content. So in my example about Mossblog, in reality, Mossblog just has no community. They used to have it, but as you can see from the number of users that I have, my site it has acquired so far, they don't have a community in reality. People are not engaging with their content. So, well, and the second reason why a site receives organic traffic just because why a traffic receives referral visitors, because the sites, which is like this one, it's not complicated, but it's like, you know, it's just, you need to understand it. It's pretty simple one combination. So you have a site that that's referring to you, and this page, it's currently ranking extremely well in Google. So basically what happens, you are not really receiving referral traffic. The more chances here are that you're receiving organic traffic through referral channel. So because a user searching something in Google, then it selects these websites from search engine results, and after this organic actually visitor comes to your website. In our case, those websites, they are not going to work for us because we want a referral traffic. And if we are going to allocate links and our content on sites that are really bringing traffic to our competitor through organic channel, it's not going to bring our short-term winnings. And so we don't know whether this page is going to rank well in Google. And so we can, like, you know, streamline this process, but that's a bit other story, I would say. So anyway, let's talk about great audience that creates engagement. And here is another one tricky question to you. Do you think that engagement equals social shares? Well, 2 years ago, my answer would be yes, definitely. So, and you can just put your answers, because I might still have the same just kind of attitude toward that, or I might change, I don't know. It's just like, it seems like a lot of marketers say that engagement equals social shares, which is actually seems to be right, but not really. So let me explain a little bit how things are working nowadays on the web and how different users interact with content. I have kind of an idea, or kind of, that's my personal attitude toward the situation. There are two types of users: those that's consuming something and that's really engaging with something. So those that prefer to consume something, they're like Mossblog readers. So they might scroll through an article, but not really. They might open it, but not really reading it. So they are not really interacting. And those that are really like kind of going through a content, reading it, clicking, that's kind of user that are really engaging with content. And so here, just a quick overview, not really focusing on that, and just, you know, giving you an idea how real engagement can be measured if you want to measure it on your websites. So I've already mentioned how, so the first case is that how users interact with content, which is an internal metric. And you can't, like, you know, if a site owner doesn't want to share with you this metric, you're not going to know. On top of these, they should use Google Tag Manager, which is a great tool. And Google Tag Manager allows you to see how exactly a particular user interacts with your page, which in our case, a content page. So whether this user prefers to scroll to highlight some particular sentences, I don't know, click on links as well, which you can track in Google Tag Manager. So if you want to know more about Google Tag Manager, I highly recommend to check Sima Havar's blog. He's just, you know, he just nails everything. Just go there, learn about Google Tag Manager, use it. But what we can do, in our case, we can check the number of comments and conversations that are happening on some channels. Well, in case of Mozblog, I could say they have a lot of comments, but they are not really meaningful. When a person leaves a comment, something like, "Oh, great post! I'd love to learn more. Thanks for sharing that." It's not a real comment. It's just like kind of some sort of a spam, I would say. So you need to be careful. Also, what I can point out, a lot of blogs decided to turn off their comments just because they, like at some point, they had started to receive insanely, like, you know, huge amount of those spam comments, and they just, at some point, they were struggling to fight with those comments, and at some point they decided just to turn it off. Like, you know, Search Engine Journal, for instance, where I also have a column, they decided to turn it off. And that's a bad idea. That's a horrible idea, because they just turned off their community. So they're just, you know, they're just in a phase of their audience only consuming, which is actually very bad signal. But how you can also, like, finding sites, what kind of metric, additional metrics you can use in order to justify whether a particular site has a really engaging audience. So, I selected a few metrics that I think really matters here. So first of all, the number of meaningful comments. Then what you can do, you can go on SimilarWeb and see traffic distribution across all channels. What you need to what you need to focus on, direct traffic, because loyal users, though that are not really consuming, mostly, like, you know, they're interacting in some way, they're coming through direct traffic channel. So, well, if you see, like, for instance, that the majority of traffic, it comes from organic channel, then it's like, you know, that's not the best option for you, I would say. So take a look at direct traffic and its proportion. Also, what you can see is the number of returning visitors. As I remember, you can also find this metric in SimilarWeb. And if you, like, you know, if you consider a particular blog, let's imagine, for a contribution, you can also ask the number of active email subscribers. That's another one thing that really matters here, because people that are actively engaging with the email marketing, with the emails, they are also quite actively engaging with their content. So that's the first step. So you are just, you know, you're kind of trying to figure out whether this or that website has a great community. But also what we need to do, we need to filter out all those, or flag at some point, all those websites that are bringing referral traffic through organic channel. Because we don't want to use those websites, or we want to consider them in a bit other way. I'll show. Anyway, here is your workflow. Start from checking what pages are referring to the site you're analyzing. So you need to check those pages, and you can do it with a few tools like Ahrefs, Majestic, SEMrush. I'll show you one, and I'll share with you a piece later where you can find more. Well, then you need to figure out if those pages are ranking well in Google. That's the second That's a different thing, because first you need to find out what kind of pages are referring, then checking whether they're receiving a solid number of organic visitors. And the last one that was I've already mentioned, investigating if there is a way to add a link to your company on those particular page, because in that way it's going to be an immediate source of traffic. So you get it probably, which is quite obvious. Okay. So what you can do, any tool, Ahrefs, Majestic, SMR, they allow you to do this. So you can just go there, type in a particular domain that you want to analyze, then filter out what kind of referring domains it has, and take the list of links, or, well, basically referring pages that a particular site has to analyze by your site. On the second step, sorry, just missed this. Yeah, you can, that's a very in-depth analytical piece that I've done. And here you can see comparison of various backlink analysis tools. You can see, like, you can select their functionality and select the best one. So I'm not going to stop here. And that's the link to my piece. I am going to share it just after my presentation. So then, what you need to do, you have all those referring pages, you need to check their organic traffic. You can check it one by one, like SEMrush allows you to do, or Spyful, for instance, if we talk about US database and UK, because if we talk about some particular country, then SEMrush will be the best option for you. Or you can do it in Ahrefs, which actually I prefer to do. So what you can do, you just can put all your URLs at once in the batch analysis tool and check their traffic. So for instance, as you can see, there are, like, a few URL that are bringing a solid number of organic visitors, and some of them are not really ranking well in Google. So you need to just, kind of add to your spreadsheet this column. And that's it. And what's even I love about Ahrefs batch analysis tool, that you can export all those results. You can analyze up to 20 URLs at once and then export them. And if you, but if you know a little bit of coding, or you have a developer somewhere around you, so you're a lucky man, you can use API and any tool will work. And in that case, I would more recommend SEMrush, because they have more accurate data, more databases, so they seem to be a better match in that case. So, and the last step is, like, kind of find a way to feature your site. So you need to find those websites that have something like here is an example. It's a random one. It's a complete list of tools. And I know that Brian updating this post on a regular basis. And also, I know, just, if you are guys in a digital marketing niche, I can tell you that these posts send tons of traffic to other tools. It's just, a heavy hitter. And if you have a digital marketing tool, you need to be there. So you need to find that kind of posts or content. And then you're going to receive quick wins. And the last one, which is kind of not really referral traffic, because it's social media, but nowadays, communities, I consider them more like a referral traffic. So for instance, Reddit, it's a so-called social media channel. But for me, it's just a referral traffic. And so it's always worth checking those communities, like Facebook as well, YouTube, whatever it is, and analyzing them, figuring out how people generating traffic. It's just like, it might be an additional quite easy way of getting traffic from one side, and from other, a good kind of inspirational thing, because a lot of growth hackers do amazing things on social media channels, on Reddit as well. So it's worth checking. And And I have a very good tip for those who want traffic right now. I know a lot of digital marketing growth hackers, they want traffic right now. And if you are not on a shoestring budget, or you have enough time to do that, it depends. You can use money or time, just like a substitute here. You can follow these steps. So first of all, you need to collect all keywords that are relevant to your niche and have enough, well, for sure, and they should have enough traffic. Then you need to analyze search engine results and see what kind of domains are appearing by those keywords. Well, here, if you want to automate this, I'm not going to step here particularly, but what you can do, you can set up a position tracking campaign and then get all the results via API. It can be any tool like Accurator, they have a pretty good API, or even SEMrush or any other tool that is particularly is focused on keyword rankings, and they have a pretty solid API. So we just grab this data. And then you need to select sites that are potentially interested in updating their content. I'll show you a really quick example and you'll get it. So when we talk about getting a list of domains, and if you have not a lot of keywords, like 100, let's say, you can do it manually. You can go to SEMrush. And so here is an example for a keyword research tool. And so, well, focus on this one, organic search results here. So you are going to see inside SEMrush what kind of domains are ranking by this keyword. That's it. You just need to copy and paste it. And so how SERPs analysis, what kind of signals, metrics, or what kind of, how you should do this. So let me show you. Okay, so why no to the first website? Because it's a blog of Matthew Woodward, his personal blog. And so it's not going to work. You can come to him and say, hey, Matthew, can you update your page with our tool? Well, he might say yes, which is going to be insanely expensive, but I think he's going to say no. He's going to turn down your your email, never reply, and blah, blah, blah. So, well, shout me loud, yes. Do you know why? Because they are actually, what they do, they're monetizing their traffic through affiliate sites. So they are just, selling tools basically on their website. Okay, you can buy them in that way. You can just, provide some value, money, whatever you want. It depends on how smart you are. I don't like involving money, but you can do that because Shout Me Loud, they do that. They monetize their traffic through affiliate sites, so they're okay to add your link in some way. Well, Nail Petal, no. This one, that's an agency. No, it's not going to work. Yes, that's a very small blogger. So you can try to coordinate. By the way, there is always a quite, let's say, ethical way of doing that, besides just, saying you need to update your content and so find a way to allocate our link, which is doesn't sound so good. You can put your ads inside this post with the link to your tool. That's what you can do. So just say, okay, let's put a very good looking banner inside your post, or just write down that it's sponsored. It's people in reality don't really pay attention to this because it's going to be written somewhere on the top of a blog post and people just scroll down. So they don't just, note that. So there are a few things that you can do. And that's what we can do when it comes to finding the right website that are going to bring you traffic. And you need to integrate this. Integrate into your SEO, and that's going to be amazing. You're going to love this. If you can integrate those links into your SEO strategy and support your SEO with those links, that's going to boost your traffic. That's going to boost your sales as a result. Well, let's see how you can do it. It's just pretty easy, actually. Just need some time, and that's it. So you need to find site pages that are already ranking very well in Google. So, well, on the first page of Google, but the higher the better. So something like top 5 will be the best. So, and also they, well, ideally, they should receive also traffic besides ranking. And if they have conversion, then that's just ideal situation. Then you need to check the competition and SERPs. So you need to be sure that this page has a chance to rank higher, because there are a lot of situations when you can just add tons of links and it's not going to happen because the competition is insanely high. And the last one step, which is always kind of a missing point, and I also had previously a tendency to meet this. And one of my SEO friends, he told me like, oh, come on, Alex, you are missing such basic things. You are not like, updating your content, looking at your title, meta decision, internal leading. What do you want from that page? You're just, adding links and that's it? You think it's going to work in that way? You're just missing technical SEO and missing some basic principles. I was like, oh my gosh, I just look at such comprehensive things by missing a focus on a very small thing that you can do, and that's going to change everything. So don't forget about this. So where you can find pages that are currently ranked well in Google and bring in your traffic and bring in your conversions, so whatever it is. So that's all about Google Analytics. And you have connected to your Google Analytics Search Console, then you can go there and see the number of impressions, the number of clicks, if you have any kind of conversions and blah, blah, blah. So go there, extract this data. But that's just, too generic. And you are going to see average position by the scope of keywords by which this or that page ranking, and you need to be very specific. So you need to know how well does a page really rank in Google. You can do it like, you can set up a position tracking tool if you know keywords by which it's appearing, and you can just grab it from your Google Analytics or Google Search Console, whatever you prefer, or you can go to SEMrush quickly check. So I would say this kind of so-so page, because it ranks quite well by a particular keyword on the first position, but search volume is pretty low. So I would say, okay, yeah, I have optimized this page, and in reality, it's not going to rank higher, and I'll show you why. Because of competition and SERPs. So let me, as you remember, Matthew Woodward, he's here. So yeah, no chance. Neil Petal, that's my next one, quite good friend, yeah. He's like, following my websites. And then this one guy has tons of links and, oh, sorry. Oh, hold on. So yeah, and that's finally me. I'm on Digital Olympia. That's our online event, by the way. If you want, you can just check it. It's a free online event as well, and we do it on a quite regular basis. So as you can see, sometimes there is no chance to rank higher. So you can just, there is no need to focus on this keyword at least, and you can check some other keywords, but that's how you can check competition and SERPs. But I was like, I know that those websites, they have tons of links, but when I don't know competition, when I'm not aware about websites, what I do? I just go in Ahrefs, Batch Analysis Tool, and if we talk about backlinks, you can also go to Majestic. They have similar tool that show you when you can put in Majestic, you can put, as I remember, up to 2,000 URLs at once and analyze them and see the number of referring domains and backlinks for each URL. So as you can see, they all has tons of links and referring domains, as I already mentioned. But mine, with only like, what I have, well, a few links actually. Six. compared to 100, because that's the onward. It's ranking pretty well. So I'm quite satisfied. So let me wrap it up very quickly. So it's good to know, it's good to generate links. It's good to acquire high quality links. But if you can acquire high quality links that bring you traffic, that's much better. It's obvious. You just need to know how to do that. And I believe today, I just, I shared with you a very good workflow. You can do this at home. And there is nothing that you can't do. Well, I believe you have the right tools. If you don't have enough money for similar web, if you're on a shoestring budget, then you can try SEMrush. So you have some options. And you need to integrate it in your SEO strategy, because that's going to be, like, you're going to create an integrated approach, which is the main thing here. Don't forget about this. Don't leave it just as it is. Try to close your funnel in some way. And so here is a small bonus. If you want, you can do this. I can just, do everything from the very beginning till the very end besides acquiring links. But I can just, point out which links have the highest potential to bring you traffic. If you want, you can take advantage. Just shoot me an email. Or even if you have any questions, do the same, please. I really want to help. I love helping, so I enjoy this. So just shoot me an email at any point, and let's stay connected. So here are my social media channels. Would love to be connected with you. And thank you very much for listening to me today. And well, I really hope you enjoyed this. Thank you, guys. That's very much it.
Okay, thank you, Alex. It seems like there are no questions. Everything was very clear. So that will be all. Thank you for sharing with us today.
Thank you.